Sunday Night Football is around the corner, and the stage is set for one of the most intriguing showdowns in Week 5. The undefeated Buffalo Bills hosting the revamped New England Patriots. And let's be honest, this one feels different. Not just because the Bills are sitting pretty as the only unbeaten team left in the AFC, but because this is the first real test of what Mike Vrabel's Patriots might actually be. For the first time in a long time, the Patriots are walking into Orchard Park with something more than just history behind them. They've got momentum, a new identity, and maybe, just maybe, a quarterback who could go toe-to-toe with the best in the league. Let's start with the vibe coming out of Foxborough. Mike Vrabel's been clear since day one. This season is about changing the narrative. He walked into the locker room after the Panthers' blowout win last week and said it loud and proud. Everyone's going to be watching us. And he's right. This is the Patriots' first primetime game of the season. All eyes are on them. And even if no one's crowning them AFC East contenders just yet, this is the kind of night where a young team can flip a script or get reminded how far they still have to go. Now, let's be real. The Patriots are 2-2. That might not sound like a big deal, but after a couple of years scraping the bottom of the division, a .500 starting year one under a brand new regime is something. They've beaten Carolina in dominant fashion. They hung in with the Steelers despite turning the ball over 5 times. But if we're keeping it honest, they've also had a pretty soft schedule. Vegas? Struggling. Miami? Even worse. Pittsburgh? Record looks good, but the tape tells a different story. Carolina? Bottom 3 team in the league right now. So yeah, the Patriots look solid, but are they for real? That's what we're going to find out on Sunday. Because now, they've got to face a Bills team that's been a juggernaut in the division for the last 5 years. A team that doesn't just beat divisional opponents, they dominate them. A team that hasn't lost at home in what feels like forever. And a team led by Josh Allen, who, like it or not, is the most dynamic quarterback the Patriots have faced all season. This is the ultimate measuring stick for New England, and Vrabel knows it. But there's something fascinating going on with this Patriots squad, especially on defense. Over the last couple of weeks, they've shown flashes of something special. Against the Steelers, they gave up just 1 first down across the second and third quarters. Against Carolina, shut them out in the same stretch. That's not luck. That's in-game adjustments, that's coaching, and that's belief. The question is, can they do that against a Bills offense that won't blink if you throw your best punch? Drake May is the other half of this storyline, and man, he's turning heads. There's a growing sense around the league that New England finally found their guy. We've seen quarterbacks come and go in that building over the last few seasons, but this feels different. May isn't just putting up decent numbers. He's showing real command in big moments. On 3rd and 4th downs, when it matters most, he's been nails. That competitive fire, that poise under pressure, the ability to make plays when everything breaks down. Those are the traits you need when you go into a hostile environment like Buffalo. And let's not forget what May's walking into. The Bills crowd is going to be loud, primetime loud. Whiteout uniforms, playoff atmosphere, drunk fans who've been tailgating since noon. The full Buffalo experience. It's a trial by fire, and we're going to learn a lot about May not just by what he does when the pocket is clean, but when it isn't. Because if there's one thing the Bills' defense has done well in recent years, it's making young quarterbacks uncomfortable. But this year, that Bills' defense has a soft spot, the run. For the first time under Sean McDermott, run defense is a real issue. They're giving up over 160 rushing yards per game, a whopping 6 yards per carry. 11% of the runs against them are going for 15 yards or more. That's the worst rate in the entire league. Tackling has been sloppy. Gap control has been suspect. And they're getting gashed not just by running backs, but by quarterbacks, especially on scrambles. And here's the thing. Drake May can run. He's no Lamar Jackson, but he's mobile enough to hurt you if you lose, contain, or get too aggressive up front. The Bills have already given up more than 100 rushing yards to quarterbacks this season, and that trend could absolutely continue on Sunday night. It's the one area where the Patriots can test them early and often, if their backs show up. That's a big if, though. So far this season, New England's ground game has been mostly pedestrian. They're under 4 yards per carry, and near the bottom of the league in rushing efficiency. But the potential is there. Ramondre Stevenson is still a bruiser who can wear down a defense. Travion Henderson has flashed, burst, and vision. If there's ever a time for that running back room to show out, it's now. Because if they can't exploit the Bills' biggest weakness, the entire offense gets a lot harder for May. Speaking of weaknesses, Buffalo's front seven has been in a bit of shuffle lately. Ed Oliver's missed 3 straight games. Matt Milano's been out. Key rotational guys are either banged up or suspended. That's forced the Bills to lean on a couple of rookies, and while there have been flashes, the run-stopping consistency just isn't there. Combine that with poor tackling from the safeties and linebackers, and it's easy to see why teams are moving the ball on the ground. But let's flip it, because the Bills can run it too, and they're good at it. This isn't just about Josh Allen slinging the ball around. Buffalo's offense is balanced, explosive, and multidimensional. They're averaging nearly 5 yards per carry and rank #1 in rushing efficiency across the board. And they do it in so many different ways: zone runs, gap runs, quarterback draws, jet sweeps, heavy sets. It's not flashy, but it's effective. They're even trotting out 3 tight end formations, using their rookie blocker Jackson Hall to create extra gaps and mismatches. That's a different kind of challenge for a Patriots defense that's been solid against the run, but maybe hasn't seen anything like this yet. We're talking about a front that held opponents to just over 3 yards per carry so far. They've got studs on the interior like Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, and Kyrie's Tonga, who quietly has been collapsing pockets and stuffing runs with real consistency. The question is, can they keep that up when the Bills hit them with their full arsenal? On the edge, the Patriots have been a bit inconsistent. Harold Landry had a strong start to the season, but cooled off recently. Clavon Chaisson is hit or miss. Sometimes he flashes, sometimes he gets washed out of the play completely. And at linebacker, it's been rough. Robert Spillane has shown some improvement, but Christian Ellis has struggled in coverage and in the run game. If Buffalo can get James Cook to the second level with a full head of steam, that's going to be a problem. And don't sleep on the Bills' passing attack. Josh Allen is spreading the ball around, and they're doing it without a true #1 receiver. That might sound like a weakness, but in reality, it's a headache for opposing defenses. You don't know who the target is. One drive, it's Khalil Shakir. The next, it's Dalton Kincaid. Then it's James Cook out of the backfield. They use motion, misdirection, and spacing to create open looks across the middle. And that's exactly where the Patriots are vulnerable. With Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis locking down the outside, the real test will come in the spine of the defense, where the safeties and linebackers will be asked to handle tight ends and crossing routes. Jalen Hawkins is battling a hamstring injury. Kyle Duggar has been up and down in coverage, and rookie Craig Woodson is still getting his feet under him. That's where Buffalo will attack, and if they hit on a couple of chunk plays in that area, it could open up everything else. But for the Patriots, the game plan isn't rocket science. They got to run the ball, protect May, and take care of the football. In their loss to the Steelers, 5 turnovers killed them. You can't do that in Buffalo and expect to hang around. You got to play clean. No penalties, no fumbles, no backbreaking mistakes. And if May gets into scramble mode, he has to keep his eyes downfield, stay a passer, and avoid taking unnecessary risks. Buffalo's pass rush is going to come after him. And while the Bills have been dialing up 5- and 6-man pressures to make up for missing guys, they're still counting on individual matchups to win. May's passer rating drops dramatically under pressure, and that's typical for a young quarterback. So the more uncomfortable Buffalo can make him, the better their chances of forcing a couple of key turnovers. But here's the twist. For the first time in a long time, this doesn't feel like an automatic win for the Bills. They're still the favorites. They're still the top dog in the division. But this Patriots team is different. Young, hungry, well-coached, and looking for statement. And while the Bills have the edge in experience, depth, and talent, that only matters if they show up and play with poise. No panic, no desperation. Just be who they've been, the most stable, consistent team in the division. Because if they let this young Patriots team hang around into the fourth quarter, things could get real uncomfortable in Orchard Park. While all signs point to a Bills victory on paper, this game has the feel of a potential trap. Not because Buffalo isn't better, but because the Patriots are just unpredictable enough to make it messy. And that's exactly the kind of game Mike Vrabel loves to coach. He thrives in chaos. He builds game plans around creating discomfort, around making elite quarterbacks second-guess what they're seeing. And even though he hasn't been in Foxborough long, that DNA is already showing in how this team plays. Let's talk about the chess match happening on the sidelines. Joe Brady versus Zach Core. That's an offensive coordinator with real pedigree going up against a defensive play caller who's still trying to get comfortable in his role. Core wasn't even supposed to be the guy. Terrell Williams was lined up to call the shots, but after missing time in camp and being diagnosed with prostate cancer, the Patriots were forced to pivot. And that matters because as solid as the Patriots have looked on defense, they haven't really been challenged by a creative, balanced attack like this one. Brady, meanwhile, knows exactly how to stress young play callers. He's going to throw looks at Core that force quick decisions. Misdirection, motion, empty sets. He's going to test the rules of the Patriot system, and if Core can't adjust on the fly, things could unravel quickly. The Bills' offense has evolved. It's no longer just Josh Allen hero ball every week. This year, it's more surgical, more methodical. They're staying ahead of the chains, getting into third and manageable, and they've been elite at converting in those spots. Buffalo's top 10 in third down efficiency, while the Patriots' defense sits near the bottom third. That's a recipe for long, sustained drives, which could wear down New England's front by the second half. If Allen's facing 2nd and 4, 3rd and 3, all night, it's going to be a long game for that Patriots defense. But if New England can flip the script and force Allen into 3rd and long, then things get interesting. That's when they can dial up disguise coverages, late pressure, and bait Allen into one of those YWLO throws that still creep into his game once in a while. That's the key. Disrupt the rhythm. Take away the easy throws early and hope that impatience creeps in. The longer Buffalo has to wait for plays to develop, the more chances New England has to steal a possession. Still, to even get to that point, the Patriots have to control the clock. And that means running the ball effectively, not just running it for the sake of balance, but actually winning on the ground. The offensive line has done its part. They're getting movement up front. But the backs? Not so much. Ramondre Stevenson hasn't found the same juice he had a year ago. And while Travion Henderson has shown promise, the consistency hasn't been there yet. This needs to be the game where the Patriots lean into their run game, trust their front five, and punch Buffalo in the mouth early. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. In what could be one of the most shocking moves of the NFL offseason, whispers are swirling around Buffalo that the Bills are closing in on a deal with Tyreek Hill. Known as one of the most electrifying playmakers in football history, Hill's potential arrival in Buffalo has sent shockwaves through the league, and fantasy football communities are already buzzing. While nothing is official, insiders suggest that the Bills are prepared to pull out all the stops to add the speedster to a team that already boasts one of the most dynamic offenses in the AFC. Hill, often referred to as Cheetah for his jaw-dropping acceleration and game-breaking ability, would instantly transform Buffalo's attack. Imagine Josh Allen with a wide receiver who can stretch the field in a blink, turning what was already a lethal offense into a nightmare scenario for defenses. Rumors hint that the Bills see Hill as the missing ingredient in their Super Bowl push, someone who can take the top off the defense and create opportunities even when the game is on the line. Sources close to the situation indicate that Hill has expressed interest in joining a team that is ready to compete immediately. Buffalo, with its championship aspirations and a quarterback like Allen, reportedly fits the bill perfectly. The potential pairing of Allen's cannon arm and Hill's unmatched speed has analysts imagining highlight reel touchdowns every week. It's a combination that could redefine the meaning of fastest offense in the modern NFL era. Of course, the deal is not yet confirmed, and some league insiders caution that negotiations can always falter. Salary cap concerns, potential trade conditions, and Hill's own priorities may all play a role. Still, the mere possibility of Hill donning the Bills' blue and red has generated a frenzy on social media, with fans speculating about everything from deep ball connections to special teams fireworks. If true, this would mark a historic moment for Buffalo, instantly elevating their offense to a level that could challenge any team in the league. The NFL rumor mill is alive with excitement, and one thing is clear. If Tyreek Hill really is headed to Buffalo, the Bills might just become the fastest and most feared team in the league. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.